Fat and blood may not be eaten. And the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, saying, You shall not eat any fat of ox or sheep or goat, and the fat of an animal that dies naturally, and the fat of what is torn by wild beasts may be used in any other way, but you shall by no means eat it. For whoever eats the fat of the animal of which men offer an offering made by fire to the Lord, the person who eats it shall be cut off from his people. Moreover, you shall not eat any blood in any of your dwellings, whether of bird or beast. Whoever eats any blood, that person shall be cut off from his people. The portion of Aaron and his sons. Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, saying, He who offers.
The following program is intended for listeners who are blind, have low vision, or have another print disability, which makes reading, holding a book, or turning a page difficult or impossible. The content is copyrighted by the respective publishers. For more information, please visit us on the web at nfradioreading.org.
Hello, this is Margaret Mack, and for the next half hour, I'll be reading from the March 5th issue of the Challenger Community News on the Niagara Frontier radio reading service. And a front page article here, Harriet Tubman's 300ths Incorporated celebrates 50-year anniversary. The Harriet Tubman 300ths Incorporated is dedicating to preserving and uplifting the legacy of Underground Railroad heroine Harriet Tubman. Their goal is to promote awareness of Tubman and Black womanhood through historical preservation, philanthropic contributions, and community initiatives. The year 2025 was a milestone year for the Sisterhood of Harriet Tubman's 300 Incorporated. Established in 1975, the organization celebrated its 50th anniversary. In celebration, they held a beautiful anniversary brunch at the Woods and Wine restaurant on November 9, 2025. The event highlighted the group's sisterhood and devotion to keeping the spirit of Harriet Tubman alive. Because of her courageous contributions to humanity and her race, Harriet Tubman is prominently honored throughout Buffalo. She is featured on the East Ferry and Michigan Street Wall, along with other local freedom fighters. The street's signature outside the wall designates Michigan Avenue and East Ferry as Harriet Tubman Way. The plaque at the entrance of Freedom Park, the memorial under the Michigan Street Bridge, the footprints on Michigan Avenue, and signature outside of Michigan Avenue Baptist Church are all examples of community initiatives supported by the Harriet Tubman 300ths. The ladies often table at local cultural events, sharing literature about Harriet Tubman, the history of the Underground Railroad, and the significance of Buffalo, New York, being the last stop on the Underground Railroad for slaves seeking freedom in Canada. In past years, Harriet Tubman 300 Incorporated have made monetary contributions totaling over $12,000 to the Harriet Tubman House and Library in Auburn, New York. Most recently, 3 students, Jonathan Douglas, Michael Lanier, and Rajini Barker, were recipients of Harriet Tubman's 300 Scholarship. Each received $250 scholarships for books and school supplies. We invite women of all ages and backgrounds to join our sisterhood and contribute fresh ideas and new energy. Our newly elected President, Dawn Hunter, and Vice President, Velma McGriff Ferguson, encourage those interested in learning more about our organization to contact Carla Thomas at wordstress62@gmail.com or Jackie White at jackie03w@gmail.com. The organization meets 4 times per year on the 3rd Saturday of the month at 60 Headley Place. And next, under the subject of Black history, Bessie Coleman, the first Black woman to earn a pilot's license. Bessie Coleman was born in Waxahachie, Texas in 1892. She attended Langston University and later traveled to France to pursue her dream of flight due to discrimination in the United States. In 1921, she became the first African American Black woman to obtain an international pilot's license. Coleman came back to the United States and became a stunt pilot. She also raised money to start a school to train African American aviators, hoping to afford them opportunities that were not then available in the U.S. Bessie was killed in 1926 during an aerial show rehearsal. Her barrier-breaking life, determination, and impressive career accomplishment continue to prove inspiration for others to this day. And a quote from Bessie: "Because I knew we had no aviators, neither men nor women, and I knew the race needed to be represented along this racist important line, so I thought it my duty to risk my life to learn aviation and to encourage flying among men and women of the race who are so far behind the white men in this special line. I made up my mind to try. I tried and I was successful." Bessie Coleman. And next, under area briefs, Spot Coffee opens its first ever gas station cafe on Jefferson Avenue. Spot Coffee has opened its newest express cafe inside the Sunoco location at 155 Jefferson Avenue. It is the first Spot Coffee ever located inside a gas station. The cafe will be owned and operated by Jefferson Coffee LLC, a family company led by Ahmad Aburama and his son Mohammed Ahmad. Opening our first ever gas station cafe is an exciting step forward for Spot, said Anton Aboub, president and CEO of Spot Coffee. We're proud to partner with the Ahama family to introduce this new concept. As a family-operated business, Jefferson Coffee LLC says it's committed to creating local job opportunities and delivering consistent, high-quality service to residents, commuters, and visitors on Jefferson Avenue and in Larkinville. Spot Coffee will host a grand opening on Thursday, March 12th at 11 a.m. at the location. For more information on Spot Coffee, go to www.spotcoffee.com. And next, under area briefs, CNR Housing announces free weatherization and energy efficiency program. CNR Housing is announcing its free weatherization and energy efficiency program. Here in Western New York, keeping energy costs down is a major focus when trying to keep your home cool in the summer and warm in the winter. As an independent contractor with the NYSERDA program, it is our goal to get as many income-qualified tenants and homeowners as energy efficient as possible. We serve both Erie and Niagara counties. Once your application is approved, you will receive your free energy audit to determine the efficiency of your home. Some of the energy upgrades include energy efficient light bulbs, smoke alarms, carbon dioxide detectors, insulation, and upgraded appliances. Qualifications vary, so apply today to see what measures you may qualify for. Call us at 716-852-3418. That's 716-852-3418. And also under area briefs, MMB's Rosalind Burgeon named Realtor of the Year. Rosalind Burgeon of Moody, Murphy & Burgeon, MMB Realty Group, has been named Realtor of the Year by the Buffalo Niagara Association of Realtors, a trade organization with more than 3,400 members. It's not the first time she's been honored by the organization, one of the largest and oldest trade associations in Western New York. In 1923, she became the first African American woman president in its 119-year history. While grateful for the honor as a conscientious realtor of color, she is aware that she has her work cut out. It was reported last year that the U.S. black home ownership rate experienced a slight year-over-year increase in 2023 among racial groups. However, it still falls significantly behind the white home ownership rate by almost 30%, according to the National Association of Realtors. 2025 snapshot of race and home buying in America. Bergen acknowledges that MMB is well aware of the disparity, which is why they do their best to educate the community about home buying opportunities. Their most recent home ownership seminar last month at Mount Oliver Baptist Church was attended by 110 participants. So we know people are thinking about it, home ownership, she said. The seminars provide a lot of information that most people are not aware of that can be helpful not only in their quest to own a home, but maintain ownership and more. There's so much out there people just don't know, she said. From working for a company that serves homes to selling homes. Rosalind, a Syracuse native, had an impressive career with Niagara Mohawk, which later became National Grid, for 34 years before taking an early retirement to become a realtor. I became a realtor because I wanted to help people become home owners, said Rosalind. For 12 years, she worked for Realty USA and then Howard Hanna Real Estate Services, rising to assistant manager for the Tonawanda and Grand Island office before she left in 2020 to form her own firm with partners Mia Mutri and Tamika Murphy. It was a leap of faith, a woman-owned company, a minority-owned startup, and a pandemic. MMB Realty was founded during the COVID. But these are three amazing women, and they have defied all the odds. Last year, MMB Realty celebrated its 5th year anniversary. As for her future, I don't know where God is taking me, Rosalind said, acknowledging that it's all in the hands of the Creator. Our company has grown, my partners are awesome, and I'm just trying to get the message out. That's my goal. You are listening to a reading of articles, features from the Challenger Community News on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. And next we have some articles under the headlines of City and State. The Mayor's Summer Youth Internship and Jobs Program now accepting applications. Visit www.buffalo.ny.gov/MSYAPP to apply. Mayor Sean Ryan today has announced the application process is now open for the 2026 Mayor's Summer Youth Internship and Employment Program. The program is for Buffalo area teens and young adults. Participants receive 6 weeks of employment and work readiness training. The program aims to help give them a head start in their careers and the local job market. The city has partnered with the Northland Workforce Training Center, Roswell Park Comprehensive Care Center, and other organizations to help place teens and young adults in jobs for the summer. City of Buffalo Community Services and Recreation staff will serve as monitors and will provide program support for everyone participating in the program. To be eligible, you must be a City of Buffalo resident, between the ages of 14 and 21. College students are encouraged to apply. To apply, copies of the below items must be returned with your completed application. Work papers obtained from your school's counselor for all youth under age 18. For age 14 to 15, blue work permit card. Age 16 to 17, green work permit card. Also, you need to include your birth certificate, proof of Buffalo residency, utility bills, lease agreement. Also must be included is your family income, Social Security card, attending school, most recent school report card or transcript. Applications will be accepted until program capacity is reached. Early submission is encouraged. Apply now by visiting www.buffalonyy.gov/MSYAPP. Business participants. Private sector businesses are encouraged to participate. Businesses that hire city youth who are in the program may also be eligible for tax credits. Non-for-profit and community-based organizations can also participate by providing a structured and supervised work environment for the summer and through sponsorship and donations. Businesses who are interested in participating can call 716-851-5887 or apply online at www.buffalony.gov. And in state news, Albany, New York. State leaders request immediate action to close Erie County child care funding gap. State leaders are asking Governor Hochul to help ensure Erie County children and families have access to affordable child care, warning that thousands remain on a waiting list due to a significant gap in the funding. State Senators Jeremy Zellner and April Baskin, alongside Assembly Majority Leader Crystal Peoples-Stokes and Assembly members Karen McMahon and Patrick Burke and William Conrad III, emphasized in a letter today that full funding is essential for Erie County to participate in the Universal Child Care Pilot Program for children ages 0 to 3. Also in state news, Queens, New York. New York's chief judge, state lawmakers, and formerly incarcerated leaders recently called for passage of the Second Look Act at a town hall hosted by Center for Community Alternatives, CCA, and the Second Look Project at CUNY Law School. The Second Look Act would allow people who have served significant time in prison the opportunity for sentence reconsideration. Under current sentencing laws, incarcerated people have no opportunity to demonstrate to a judge that they have transformed while incarcerated or to seek a reconsideration of unjust sentences. With nearly 35,000 people incarcerated in New York State prisons, New York continues to grapple with the legacy and ongoing impact of extreme sentencing, particularly on communities of color. The Second Look is a necessary step toward meaningful sentencing reform, grounded in the truth that people can change and that our laws must evolve as well. This urgent and common sense reform has extensive support from judges, the American Bar Association, dozens of labor unions, victim services, and survivor justice groups. The legislation is called the Second Look Act. And in local news, the first ever Black History Armed Forces Week celebrated here. The first ever Black History Month Armed Forces Week was celebrated in Buffalo February 12th through the 19th, which included President's Day of Hope and Opportunity, through which official proclamations from the Erie County Executive and Majority Leader Crystal Peoples-Stokes. Those bookend dates were chosen because on February 12, 1945, the 6,888th Central Postal Directory Battalion, the only all-black, all-female unit, was deployed overseas in World War II. And on February 19, 1942, the Tuskegee Airmen were officially initiated into the U.S. Armed Forces, marking a pivotal moment for the first African American military pilots, navigators, and support staff. The closing celebration, held at the Buffalo and Erie County Naval and Military Park Museum, featured the screening of No Male, No Morale, the epic documentary about the heroic 6,888th Central Postal Directory Battalion. There was also information booths on hand to provide veterans with information on a variety of services and support from the government, such as the Erie County Office of Veterans Services and Congressman Tim Kennedy's office. Cheryl Coleman was honored during the Black History Month Armed Forces Week event for her service to veterans and community. At the conclusion of the event, there was a wreath-laying ceremony at the African American Veterans Monument from the Daughters of the Defenders. Also under local news, Best South Behavioral Health presents Young Kings and Queens 2026 Empowerment Conference. Best South Behavioral Health presents Young Kings 2026 Empowerment Conference on Saturday, March 28th at 899 Main Street from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. This event is for young men ages 13 to 20. Parents, guardians, mentors, welcome. All are welcome to enjoy a day of free workshop designed to encourage, inspire, and empower self-esteem, emotional and mental well-being of young men. Join us and support the movement to build power with and for our youth in this transitional time. Free lunch provided. There will be a DJ, prizes, giveaways, a 360 photo booth, and more. Please sign up at evenbright.com. The Young Queens 2026 Empowerment Conference will be held on Saturday, April 25th, also at 899 Main Street from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. This event is for the young women ages 10 to 20. Parents, guardians, mentors, welcome. All are welcome to enjoy a day of free workshops designed to encourage, inspire, and empower self-esteem, emotional, and mental well-being of young women. Join us and support the movement to build power with and for our youth in this transition into a successful woman. A free lunch is provided. There will be DJ, prizes, giveaways, a 360 photo booth, and more. Please sign up at event-bright.com. Those dates are for the Young Kings is March 28th and Young Queens is April 25th. And next we have an interview of Eamon Wajad, a rising star. Buffalo native Eamon Wajad is a rising star in Buffalo, New York. At 24, he wears many creative hats, including cinematographer, director, and marketing director. Born into a creative family, it is no wonder that Wajad has the talents he does. His parents are Idris Wajad, a talented painter, and Alexa Wajad, a creative entrepreneur. Both his parents are the founders of Eat Off Art, a creative design agency. His grandfather is Amon Ra Path Imad Rajad, a well-known jeweler, artist and activist in Buffalo. Wajad explains that his family has been a large source of inspiration for him. Coming from a household full of entrepreneurs has given me a passion and drive to get across the finish line, he said. Iman, whose name means faith in Arabic, graduated from Damon College with a bachelor's in business marketing. He would later intern at Buffalo Niagara Medical Campus. During his internship, he gave a speech that caught the attention of Chad Williams. Williams noted Wajad's inspiring way of speaking and invited him to join the marketing team at Buffalo Fashion Runway, BFR. Alongside the other co-founders, Rodney Chapman and Kane McDermott, Wajad says the group began BFR because there were no fashion shows in Buffalo. The only shows that you had were Buff State and UB, and that was really it, Eamon noted. For their first show, Confluence of the Arts, Buffalo Fashion Runway contacted models and clothing designers to be part of the show. However, they received many rejections. Ultimately, their first show retained 8 designers, 50 models, and 250 guests. Since then, BFR's shows have only grown, drawing around 1,000 guests to Black Carpet 2 last year and gaining significant notoriety for their other shows and events throughout the year, including pop-up shops and marketplaces. The third annual Black Carpet event recently took place on Saturday, February 28th at Shays Buffalo. The mission was to bring the interest in fashion and art back to Buffalo, and I feel as though we've accomplished that, he said, adding that the show brings hope to our community. I think hope is important. Many older people have told me that the fashion show gives them hope for the younger generation. While he is still involved with Buffalo Fashion Runway, Wajad has taken a step back from the show to focus on his own passion, his camera. Today, he primarily works as a cinematographer. He recently had the incredible opportunity to attend the Grammys and film on the red carpet. While it was a bit of a challenge to achieve this goal, Wajad remains persistent. If it's something I believe in, he explained, I don't take no for an answer. Wajad has a short film titled Pieces of You that premiered at 716 and Art on February 1st. The film is a monologue piece that displays his discovery with the camera this past year. Today, he is working on cinematography projects for his own professional clients and is an independent contractor for Legacy House Studios. Ahmad Wajad is nothing short of an inspiration to young people and says he plans to get more involved in advocacy. I'm wondering, how do I uplift others? How can I give the younger generation the opportunity to do what I've done? As far as the next step, he says, we'll have to wait and see. A lot more dope things are coming, he concluded. You've been listening to a reading of articles and features from the March 5th issue of the Challenger Community News. We read from the Challenger Community News every Saturday at 8:30 a.m. Your reader has been Margaret Mack. Thank you for listening.
Coming up next in the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service, we have a reading of the Batavia Daily News. Following that at 10 o'clock is the East Aurora Advertiser, and at 11 we have the Niagara Gazette. Stay with us for these readings and more throughout the day. You're listening to the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Our volunteer radio readers broadcast daily readings of printed matter to our listeners who are blind or have a print disability throughout Western New York and Southern Ontario's Niagara Peninsula. The Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service has brought nearly 40 years and more than 300,000 hours of radio readings to those without sight. Our broadcast signal is provided at no charge by WNED. For more information, call us at 716-821-5555. following program is intended for listeners who are blind, have low vision, or have another print disability which makes reading, holding a book, or turning a page difficult or impossible. The content is copyrighted by the respective publishers. For more information, please visit us on the web at nfradioreading.org.
Hello, this is Jim Michaely, and for the next hour I'll be reading from the March 10th, 2026 issue of the Batavia Daily News on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. First up on the front page, a story titled A Night to Celebrate. Chamber Awards Honor Triumphs Community. Long hours, challenges, opportunities, and those who have helped along the way. All were acknowledged Saturday night during the Genesee County Chamber of Commerce's 54th Annual Awards Dinner. Chamber President Brian Cousins even acknowledged the Murphy guy that everyone